Conservative commenters are, perhaps not surprisingly, I guess, mostly supportive of the fact that a member of the media was arrested for documenting a protest. We're gonna start with Megyn Kelly, who said, for those saying this is criminalizing journalism, which is what it is literally doing, journalists don't get a pass when breaking the law just because they have a mic. If I accompanied people storming an abortion clinic, harassing / scaring / traumatizing, which she puts in quotation marks because she can't get through even this analogy of hers without mocking women who have been traumatized in these situations, the crying women while saying, but I'm a reporter, I would absolutely have been charged under any dem admin. So first of all, you'll notice she just says he's breaking the law. She doesn't provide any evidence. She doesn't say specifically what he did that broke the law. She just claims it without evidence because she's given up on being a serious journalist. Also, no, you wouldn't be. If you had been documenting an anti-abortion protest, Obama would not have locked you up. Joe Biden would not have locked you up. Bill Clinton would not have locked you up. You don't actually believe that. You are the most pathetic of grifters in existence.
I actually think she might believe it, which I don't know if that's better or worse. But look, I'm happy to answer that question. So if the people bust into an abortion clinic and they've broken this law and they're disturbing people in this incredibly private, sensitive moment, etc., we have to look to see if the protesters themselves are breaking the law. I get it under both circumstances. But if there was a TYT reporter nearby and they asked me, should I follow the protesters in to document what they're doing? I would say absolutely. Into the abortion clinic, right? Or into the church or into a mosque or wherever they're going, because you're a reporter. Your job is to document interesting news events like that. No, the reporter should not get arrested. If you say the reporter should get arrested, you're saying, let's light the First Amendment on fire. Because remember, the First Amendment is not just freedom of speech. Freedom of the press is also in there. In fact, the media is the only protected organization or profession in the entire Constitution.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very serious thing to arrest a reporter who conveniently happens to be on the other side and has criticized your actions.
Yeah, and by the way, look how generous we're being and how seriously we take protection of the press, that we'll extend that freedom in this hypothetical, not just to actual members of the press, but pathetic people like Megyn Kelly, whose job in the press these days is mostly about justifying single moms being shot in the face and explaining why rich men wanting to have sex with 15-year-olds aren't really pedophiles. We're still gonna protect her from being imprisoned, aren't we generous? But she's not alone. Patrick Bet-David also said this: arresting Don Lemon is the right move. Never in the history of journalism has a well-known journalist joined protesters to enter a church during worship and confront a pastor. If nothing happens here, it sets a dangerous precedent. It invites copycats, YouTubers, activists, citizen journalists to storm churches, mosques, and other places of worship, chasing clicks and virality. That's playing with fire. Even Hunter S. Thompson, the pioneer of gonzo journalism, never crossed into active worship. I disagree with Don Lemon on many issues. There is a need for his views, whether you agree with him or not, but entering a place of worship crosses a line. If it breaks the law, and for the people actually doing it, again, he's not assaulting anyone, he's not breaking anything, he is a goddamn member of the media, and I don't understand why it's so difficult for these people to understand that, except that understanding it and then advocating for Don Lemon to be protected might be incredibly unpopular with their audience, and maybe Don Lemon isn't the person who's been captured by his audience, maybe it's these members of the right wing. Robbie Sove, libertarian, was one of the few that we were able to find who was more hesitant towards all this, says, this seems very concerning. That isn't much, but at least it isn't applauding what's going on. And I think we have a little bit of video of Ben Shapiro, who perhaps is also at least slightly mixed up about this.
To be fair to Lemon, and just speaking legally, there is a fine line between a journalist doing a ride along, even with people who are committing criminal acts, which by the way is legal. Like journalists do this on a fairly regular basis, and journalists being involved in the planning and commission of the crime. And that's what is being accused. It's being accused that Lemon was involved in the plan and commission of this crime, and that he was an integral part of that, presumably, because they wouldn't have done it if they didn't have Lemon there covering it. That they required him as part of the plan. That is going to be the case that is made by the federal government. But it's pretty clear that Lemon was involved in some capacity. And I'm not going to prejudge this thing legally. But for people to claim that there is no shot at all, that the federal government has no case at all, that basically they're just arresting him for being a journalist on the scene, that is a stretch to me.
So again, he can't be like totally in favor of the media or whatever. That wouldn't be a popular base. And also, I love the little Freudian slip that there's no shot at all. That has a connotation to it. It's not, he fixed it after and said no case at all. No case at all is not a value judgment. No shot at all implies, well, let's try. Let's see if we can get him. It's not that he necessarily broke the law, but maybe we get a member of the media. Anyway, oh, by the way, I'll also throw this out. I saw this. James Fishback, the far-right Republican candidate for governor in Florida, said that Don Lemon is lucky that he's not getting executed in the public square.
Oh, come on, Jesus Christ. Okay, so this is authoritarian crap and everybody knows it here. Okay, let's do another example. So the right-wing media includes guys like Posobiec, and he pushed the Pizzagate conspiracy theory. And oh my God, they're eating children in the basement of a pizza parlor or whatever they're doing, or drinking their blood or wearing their skin as their mask. Whatever ludicrous, insane thing that they made up about Pizzagate. Well, some guy went in there and shot him up, right? Shot up the pizza chain involved. So you could argue that he instigated those people to go do that shooting, which is a far, far more serious crime. And he didn't just happen to be there and document it. He's the one who made it up. Oh, there's some terrible things happening in the basement of the pizza place. What's anybody gonna do with it? I mean, that is instigating it 2,000 times more than Don Lemon.
Yeah.
Did anyone on the left say that Posobiec should go to jail? I mean, maybe a couple of guys did, certainly no politician did, no big show did. No, nobody said he should be in prison over it. But now this, an infraction that is 1/1000th of it, if it's an infraction at all, and by the way, 2 judges have already said, no, this is garbage, not even close to a crime. And they're like, oh, no, let's find another judge and another judge, because we want to prosecute our opponents.
Yeah.
Keep it real. This is total authoritarianism crap. And by the way, done by a madman, which I'll come back to in a second.
Yeah, what about all the right wingers who are pushing for weeks for people to go on January 6th and wreck the place and overturn the results of the
should we
election?
go? Okay, so the next
Dan
Democratic
Bongino,
president,
Charlie Kirk, and all them.
So the next Democratic president, should we investigate every right-wing media guy that instigated something where another person, protesters, activists, whoever, broke the law? We'd have a very long list. And if that was the case, you know who would be the most against it? Me, because it's dumb. It takes away everyone's freedom. When you take away someone's freedom and you set a precedent, it doesn't just affect that person or their side. It affects everyone because it affects the Constitution and how it's interpreted. A super dangerous precedent should never be allowed to stand. And by the way, guys, what did we say before the election? That he was an authoritarian. And authoritarians try to lock up people who are their political enemies, whether they're in politics or media. And that is exactly what he has done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So for those of you going, oh yeah, there's no way he was gonna be authoritarian. Well,
yeah,
here he is. I mean, forget Nazi, forget even the word fascist, authoritarian. And people were like, no way. Are you still saying no way? Come on.
Yeah.
No, you don't mean that, even if you say it, I don't believe you. Even the 25% of Trump supporters, and I base that on polling, including one in this show, that are extreme right, that love everything. They're in the camp of invading Iceland because Trump accidentally said Iceland instead of Greenland. Yes, there's like a portion of Trump's base that you cannot talk to. If Trump tells you, we should murder Iceland, you murder Iceland, murder the ice. Wait, we like ice. Okay. So anyways, so those guys are unreachable and they love this, but I don't care about them. I care about everyone else. We cannot set precedents like this. Yeah. And guys, how do you not know that he's a madman? So John just told us a minute ago in the live show that Trump was threatening to arrest Obama today. So now the remarkable part of that story is it's just a throwaway in one of our stories. It's not a major headline. In fact, it's not a major headline anywhere. Now, why is that? Now, pre-Trump, if a current sitting president threatened to arrest a former president, it would have been by far the biggest headline, not of that day, but of his entire presidency, right? But we are used to Trump being insane. So we're like, oh yeah, he threatened to arrest Obama again. Let's move on, because he's not going to do that because he's a moron, or he might.
Maybe he will now.
Or he might, but it doesn't. We hope the courts will go, no moron. That's not how our laws work, okay? And he'll be further humiliated, but he wants it. He's insane and he wants it. He wants to arrest all of his opponents. He doesn't want any dissent. He wants everyone to give him standing ovation after standing ovation because he's a tiny, weak little narcissist of a man. He's so incredibly weak and fragile. And we cannot have a madman like this willy-nilly constantly arresting people and threatening to do crazy things. And then on top of that, he's about to do the craziest thing of all. He's gonna drag us into a much bigger war with Iran. That is the problem with when you elect a president who is a madman, who is not mentally stable at all. And we have all the credibility in the world. I called out Biden when I thought he was senile years before anybody did. And so if you couldn't see that, I was amazed. If you can't see that Trump's literally nuts, I can't help you because you're in that 25% of Trump voters who think that Iceland is the capital of ICE and Border Patrol, but we should invade it anyway.
I just want to, as we go to break, let you know, Edwin let me know that Don Lemon has been released after being charged. He's going to plead not guilty. He's not allowed to contact anyone involved in the case basically, but he temporarily has his freedom. And so there is that.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.